Okay, so today we have Wah and Story of the Blues. And I've seen them be called The Wah and Wah Wah Heat, but either way, this video just has Wah with an exclamation point. But I've never heard of these guys. They've been requested more often than I thought they would be, my goodness gracious. But yeah, we're going to get into this, talk about it after, watch the video too. And I mean, 1980s, here we go. Lord. What a voice! Well, there it goes. Part one, of course, but Wah and Story of the Blues. This is what I love about doing this video, and I do a lot of music from the UK. That was never, I mean, I'll say at the top, that was never the plan when I started this channel or whatever, but that's what has become, and a lot of my viewers are from the UK, so of course I always like when people mention a band from the UK, which maybe, I guess maybe this was, I believe, their biggest hit, and I've never heard of, you know, and probably a lot of people have never heard of them or whatever, but just by the views of this video. But either way, my God, it's just, this has such an anthemic, is that the word I want to say? It's such an anthem. I mean, there's such an anthemic quality about the song. It's so powerful. It's a powerful message. The vocals are powerful here from Pete Wylie, I want to say is his name here. And I just love how he's walking, and I don't know, I want to say he's walking down to a bar there. Either way, there's people there, and by the end of it, the other people look like they are singing the story of the blues. You know, his message is getting across to them, but how it starts out with him being lonely, a car passes by, whatever, you know, he's being kicked around, you know, he's the scum under people's shoes, that kind of a thing, you know, he's the gum, my God, underneath someone's shoe. And just, you know, he's so down and out. And I mean, there's, if you want to talk about another song that like comes to mind, but it doesn't sound like this song at all, but kind of the same message, but like, you know, tub thumping, I get knocked down, but I get up again, where, you know, that song comes to mind too. Chumbawamba, my God, tub thumping, yeah, by Chumbawamba, there you go. But that kind of same feeling, you know, where I'm singing the story of the blues, and isn't there like a Johnny Cash song called The Home of the Blues? Anyway, the blues are something that's always been talked about. Sadness, emotions, you know, negative emotions, whatever, and feeling down and out, feeling browbeaten by other people. And when he talks about, you know, whoever he's talking about in the song, is it society? Is it other people? I mean, by the video, yeah, other people are, you know, the ones kicking him around, you know, whether it's also going to be talking about through work or whatever it is in your life that's making you feel down. Could it be yourself? You know, again, sometimes we are our own worst enemies too. You know, our mind is. And either way, but at the same point, there's a lot of self-reflection when he talks about saying, and then you realize you're singing the story of the blues. And it's just, I don't know. And like I said, his voice is so powerful. I like when it breaks at points. And not like breaks like a voice crack or whatever, I guess, but it's just, he changes it up a little bit from a hard, powerful, you know, I guess sound to kind of, I don't know, just kind of breaking into more of a gritty, like maybe raspy voice. Anyway, again, I've never heard Pete in my life, but I just love his sound here. And I loved how relatable he sounded. Not only how relatable the song was, but his voice alone, you know, there's so much passion behind it. And there's so much pent up emotion, I guess you would say, behind it too. You can feel like this is coming from the heart. And I did want to mention too, from the get-go, you know, the lush, I would say, strings here. I was trying to look up the personnel of the song, but I can't find a personnel. You know, I don't see, there's no, you know, Wah Wikipedia page. There is another band called Wah, but it's not these guys. So anyway, I was having trouble, but I know Pete's on lead vocals here. But either way, I want to say the lush arrangements here, the lush strings, I would say too, very bouncy at times, very lively too, and I mean the drum machine too. Which I did see there was an article here, and the title of it, it talks about how, you know, I guess the quote to grab you, it talks about how he says, we got hold of a drum machine, but there was no manual. That's why the song has a weird conga pattern. We didn't know how to delete it. And it just, again, it sounds so bare bones. It sounds so honest and real again. You know, I guess that's how the song comes across to me anyway. And yeah, and it was very real and kind of amateur, of whatever you want to say. But yeah, just that kind of galloping drum machine through the whole thing was obviously present as hell too. And yeah, I just love, again, the orchestration or the strings, I want to say, and just how that's just kind of livens the song up. But then you have Pete, you know, singing his heart out and talking about being down and trying to come back up again, you know, coming back from being down. And obviously there's so much perseverance, like I talked about. And that's something that everybody goes through in their life. You know, everyone gets kicked down at some point. I mean, my God. But, and of course, you know, talking about losing your pride, and then we go into the whole self-reflection part there, but trying to gain that pride back too is a big part of this whole thing. But anyway, it's a very positive, you know, at points it's positive, but the whole thing I feel like is trying to be positive, and in trying to get you to get back up on your feet and, you know, try again. God dang. But I did also want to mention the producer here, because this came to mind even before I heard who the producer was, but I believe Mike Hedges. Again, I'm looking here at the Guardian, because this came to mind even before I saw this article. And it's The Associates. He talks about, I loved what the producer Mike Hedges had done with The Associates and wanted my voice to be equally central. I met Mike, we got on instantly, it goes on there. He says we got violins, backing singers, the whole bit. Anyway, and yeah, you know, so the strings there, the violins, which are very prominent throughout the song, like I talked about, very lush, and it's just beautiful. My God. And it's so lively, and, you know, the backup singer is there too. I want to say, you know, the woman, but I would say maybe there's more than one woman behind him, which gave it an extra oomph. All that stuff comes to mind. But yeah, The Associates came to mind just musically. Obviously, this Pete's voice is very different from Billy McKenzie. Billy Mackenzie is one of the most unique, I mean, powerful too, yes, but it's a very much higher voice than Pete here, I would say. But the associates did come to mind again, just through sonically. And so I'm glad, and it does make sense that, Mike Hedges, I guess, was a part of this, producer for the Associates, and he came on this song too. So yeah, just the production of that, and just, again, with that lively background, but at the same point, you have that voice that's so prominent, kind of above everything. Yeah, the comparison is there between the Associates and Wah here, and so I like to hear that. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that too, because it makes sense to me completely. So anyway, we go into these lyrics now. Here in my pocket, I got the story of the blues. Try to believe me, because it could be front page news. Again, this guy sounds so down on himself. He sounds so down on everybody else, and it seems like he has reason to. Again, going by the video there. But yeah, he's got the story of the blues in his pocket, and it's like, apparently, it seems like people have not believed him, and it's just like, why would you believe him? I don't know. He's a liar, just if you're being a dick to him, like everyone has been. It could be front page news, but nobody cares. I've got the story of the blues, but nobody cares. It's just, hits you hard. I say I live with it like it hasn't happened yet. I keep thinking of everyone, how I'm the one they're trying to get to tell the story of the blues. I mean, he comes off as Eeyore or something from Winnie the Pooh. Everything is just so downtrodden again. He's been browbeaten, and that word comes into play later on. But yeah, I live like it hasn't happened yet. It's just so, like it hasn't happened yet, whether that's the story of the blues maybe hasn't happened yet, or the sadness, the actual sadness, all of it hasn't come at him yet, but he still feels like it has. Anyway, it's just, I'm the one they're trying to get to tell the story of the blues. I got that. I got it in my pocket. No one else can tell it except for me, and he hates it. You would hate having the story of the blues, to feel the blues, to feel so negative, to feel so sad, and overcome with grief, or have that black cloud following you around. I mean, my God. But then we go on. First, they take your pride. So now it's almost, he's putting it in bullet points here. First, they take your pride, turn it all inside, and then you realize you've got nothing left to lose. Now, that last line is a bit uplifting in a way. You got nothing left to lose. You can't dig down any farther. Oh, the only way is up. Or maybe you can dig down farther. I guess we'll find out. But then we go on. So you try to stop, and then here we go, though. You do try to stop. You try to get back up, and then you realize you're telling the story of the blues. Then you get some self-reflection. Then you do realize, I got the story of the blues, and nobody else around me seems to have that. And loneliness comes into play there. He feels empty. All he feels is the story of the blues. I mean, God dang. Feeling browbeaten day after day. I think it's over, but I just can't get away. I mean, depression is a big thing that comes to mind here. He seems very obviously depressed. He seems very sad. I mean, yeah, I'm a broken record at this point. But day after day, I think it's over, but it's not. It's just, that hits hard again. It's just, some of these lines are very heavy and poignant. I mean, holy frig. You say forget it. Well, don't jump the gun. You're laughing this time. Next time, you might be the one to tell the story of the blues. Now, it almost sounds like a threat in a way, but at the same point, people around him, again, in the video, they're laughing. They're going through their day. They don't got the story of the blues, but they could be next. And like, what comes to mind is, I think, No Excuses by Alice in Chains, where he talks about, you think it's funny, well, you're drowning in it too, when Lane says that. Two different genres, but the same kind of vibe, the same topics here, of just having the story of the blues, or just being down and out, and maybe people around you feel like, everything's great for them, but one day maybe it won't be. My goodness gracious. Pause for a drink there, wet my whistle. My goodness, but we're pretty much done here, because the repetition comes back in. First, they take your pride, turn it all inside, and then you realize you've got nothing left to lose. So you try to stop, get back up. You're telling the story of the blues. But then the last part here, the last two lines, and I don't know if I think maybe he's talking about, as he said earlier, when I talked about maybe almost as a threat, when he said it could happen to you like it's happening to me. So when he says there, what are they going to say about me when they tell the story of the blues? And again, I'm thinking, is he talking about these people who might get it after him? And just by the faces in the video, near the end of the video, when there's those people around in a bar, I want to say, who, again, one of the guys looks very sad all of a sudden. So now maybe they have the story of the blues, and is he saying, again, are you going to thank me? Or maybe not thank him, but are you going to understand me? Are you going to realize what I've been talking about with the story of the blues finally? Is there going to be some points of freaking connection there? But anyway, what are they going to say about me when they tell the story of the blues? Look, I have been trying. But yeah, again, so relatable. I love the lush orchestration, whatever you want to call it, the violins, all that stuff. and just how lively, again, those are kind of bouncy at points. But then you got Pete, singing his ass off about loneliness and about despair and about perseverance and trying to get back up, even though everyone keeps pushing you back down. It's just, my God, it's just, you can visualize that so well. And so many people have gone through it. Holy moly. But anyway, the song is as relevant today as it was back here. And I don't know what year it was even released, but the 1980s, I do believe, the early 80s, I want to say. But yeah, again, these blew me away. I didn't know what to make of the song when when I started, but I liked it a lot more than I thought it was going to, because again, it's just a new band to me. But I just really got into it during the song there, and I liked it a lot. So anyway, I guess that's all I'm gonna say. So thanks for watching, thanks for liking, subscribing, commenting, thanks for requesting these guys. Finally got to them, and yeah, thanks for everything. I'll talk to you guys again soon.